Thank you for listening. My name is Jim Leo, and I am president of TVH Financial, private wealth advisor at Ringtree Financial Solutions, and partner at TVH Group. I've launched this podcast, and my first few podcasts I will be sharing with you my critical illness story based in 2019. And today I'm going to give you a bit of background on myself and my medical history. I'll also talk about how my critical illness insurance helped with my recovery. So last year, I unexpectedly required open heart surgery. I wasn't totally surprised, even though I had no symptoms, but more because of my family history. See, my grandfather on my mom's side passed away at the age of 46 or 47, and his cause of death was a heart attack. I believe he had a total of about 3 heart attacks in his 40s. Now, he was a heavy smoker. He was also a poor eater and didn't exercise, so he looked like someone that would potentially have a heart attack. My own father passed away September of 2018, and he had his very first heart attack at the age of 42. He was also a heavy smoker. I believe he smoked anywhere from 1 to 3 packs a day. It wasn't a very good eater, and he also had high cholesterol. But ultimately, he passed away from prostate cancer at the age of 69. Now, my dad had multiple heart attacks over his life, including bypass surgery, a pacemaker installed, and I'm not 100% certain of any other medical conditions because I really hadn't talked to my dad in about 25 years. In 2008, I decided to purchase critical illness insurance coverage because of my family history, and also because at the time I was self-employed, as I am currently today. And at the time, I also had a little toddler at home, my daughter Serena, and my son Liam was on his way. I also decided to purchase a critical illness insurance because I'm an insurance broker in the life insurance industry and felt that it was important that I have some coverage. Now, around the same time, or right before I purchased a critical illness coverage, actually, I was referred to my cardiologist primarily because of my family history, and we also uncovered that I had high cholesterol. So I really wanted to be proactive and not reactive like my father was. I also at the time didn't consider myself to be high risk because I was young. I was in my late 20s, early 30s. I was also very athletic. I played hockey, soccer, I mountain biked, I cycled, and I was also on a dragon boat team. I purchased the coverage really just in case, kind of like you do with home insurance. You don't ever buy fire insurance for your home thinking that your house is going to catch on fire and burn to the ground. You buy it just in case if that happens, you have coverage. Well, that's the reason why I also bought the critical illness insurance at the time. Part of the plan was to see the cardiologist every 2 years, primarily for my cholesterol management, but also, to perform an ECG every single time and to have a stress test. Now, over the 10 plus years, the results always came back as normal, except for my cholesterol, which I inherited. Basically, it's a hereditary disorder that I have where my liver overproduces cholesterol. To give you a baseline number, LDL, which is your bad cholesterol, baseline should be under 3, and your total cholesterol should be under 5, preferably in the 4 range. My LDL baseline without any medication was 12, not the 3, and my total cholesterol was 14, and nowhere close to the 4 or under 5 number that I needed. So I started taking cholesterol medication about 10 years ago, actually longer than that now. I'd say 17 years ago, sorry. And the lowest that I can get my LDL with the medication was about 4.65 and total cholesterol around 7. So better than my baseline, but still not ideal. So it's, my cardiologist did manage my cholesterol. We tried different meds. We tried diets. We tried different adjustments, lifestyle changes, and nothing worked because, again, it's a hereditary disorder that I have where my liver is overproducing cholesterol. because of that, this is why I really wanted to really be taken care of by my cardiologist. So in the fall of 2018, I went to my scheduled appointment with my cardiologist. Originally, it was supposed to be scheduled in May of 2018. I had to defer it to, I believe it was October. And the reason for that is I was actually recovering from a right hip replacement, followed immediately during my recovery. I needed to also have my gallbladder removed. So physically, I just wasn't in a position to go and get my stress test done with my cardiologist. So we pushed it. And went through the test again, ECG, blood pressure, everything came back normal as it had for well over 10 years. And my cardiologist said, Jim, I'm going to see you in 2 years' time again. And this time, I don't know why, but this time I had asked if he would be willing to take a look at my arteries with his own eyes. I knew that an angiogram was one method that he could do that. And he said no. He said it was a waste of money and a waste of time and resources because nothing came back with not even a blip. Again, ECG within normal range, blood pressure was good, stress test came back normal. Even when I exercise, he asked if I experienced any chest pain. And I said, no, never felt winded. I would go swimming at the gym. I would cycle, just felt normal, no different, So because of that, he said there was just really no reason for us to go through that entire stress or test process. So I did something that is out of my character. I refused to leave his office. I insisted that I wanted him to perform some kind of test where he could see with his eyes. And we argued back and forth. And to his credit, he finally agreed. He said, we'll go ahead and do the test. I still believe that it's a waste of time and resources. And he was very confident that he wouldn't find anything wrong with me. He figured, maybe he might find a small little blockage, but nothing too serious beyond maybe requiring a stent. So that's when he scheduled my first test. And my first test was actually a cardio CT scan. What they do is they do an imaging of your chest to look at your arteries on the external side. And then after that, they inject a dye and see how the dye flows. So that test was scheduled in January of 2019. And that's really the start of my critical illness story. So in the next episode, I'm going to discuss the diagnosis and how close I really was to dying without having any indication or clue that there was even a problem. This has been the Tortoise and the Hare Financial Podcast. My name is Jim Leo. Once again, thank you for listening.